With a true chef, bright like a morning star. Let's chat with phenomenal Char. She's bringing joy, she's bringing. Welcome back to Let's Chat with Phenomenal Shar and Jeannie. And the conversation continues. It was nice and juicy, and we had to go for a break. So now we're back. And before anything else, let me officially introduce my guest and ask them to tell you a little bit about themselves, because they're all interesting people, and I don't want the show to end without you knowing who they are. So I'm gonna ask, let's let the gentleman go first. Daryl, can you tell us a
Since
little?
he's so outnumbered.
You're
But I did.
outnumbered, so we're giving you the courtesy of allowing you to go first. Tell us a little bit. Tell our audience who you are.
Well, first, thank you kindly for allowing me to go first. And the ladies, that's kind of like, but me, it's hard explaining who I am, because I always have a challenge doing that. Um, let's see, that's a tough question for me because I've always thought that when somebody wants to know who you are, it's something they have to tell you about that they know about you. Like, oh, you are a nice person. You're this, you're that. Because I've never been one to explain who I am, but I guess I'm a very authentic person to the core that I believe in what I believe in. And uh, as an individual about my own self-worth, and no one could like cast any shadows on that, no matter how uh, dark the world may be around or energy that's around me may be, I'm always going to be who I am. And that's something that everybody that I've known throughout my life has said about me. So that's how I can say that's who I am. So I have a hard time explaining who I am, but I have a background in the mental health field. If you want to know like things like that, I worked in the mental health field for over 30 years, from state level all the way down to community level. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I also, I'm a father of three, not married, divorced. Um, let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure what else to say. Maybe you know me, Charlene. Maybe you can say something nice.
He's a wonderful, kind, awesome human being. And he is currently on a mission to empower women. I was hoping you'd talk about the thing that you do, your passion for women and empowerment of women, and the project you're currently embarking on.
Something about this. This is your show. I'm not here to promote myself.
No, but I think it's very relevant, especially for today, what you're doing, the work you're doing with women and for women, because I know you're very big on empowering women. So
yeah. I mean, because I truly believe that the world goes as women go. It's like, and our world needs healing. And who are the best healers that you know? It's like, but if women are kind of like, there's a lot of women who their self-worth is down, and the world is crying for more women to come together and and to actually be put in a position of leadership. It's like to lead, and oftentimes as men, we don't see women in that position. Throughout my whole life, I've seen women do the same thing as men do, get less pay, or they're not looked at as a leader just because of their gender. Certain positions they can't get because of their gender, but they can be even more qualified than a male. So that narrative has to change, and I can't do it by myself. But I think it's also up to women to help reshape that narrative, because for some reason I think women have allowed men to define what is beauty to them, and what's attractive, appealing. And I feel like that narrative has to change in order for the world to become a better place, just overall. I'm not saying that the world is going to be this heavenly place where everything's going to be nice and beautiful, no pain, no sorrow, no problems. But I think if we don't give it a try, at least give it a try, we'll never know what the potential could possibly be. If we don't allow women to take their natural position. I mean, and this is coming from a spiritual perspective as well, because I think that's where beauty comes from. So that's what my whole purpose is like in life at this point, is to just make sure that I make an impact as far as, helping to uplift women and putting them back in the rightful position that they deserve to be in.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Daryl is on this path of just making sure that we get our voices are heard and we get the credit that we deserve. Thank you so much. Okay, so Bez.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're on, my darling.
That story. I've been
Hey.
anticipating that story.
All right, so I'll get to the story soon. I think Shah wants us to introduce ourselves.
Yes.
So, I'm Vez, and professionally, I come from a project management background and also from the health sector. I started off in the health sector. I worked as an osteopathic practitioner for a few years and then started working in project management. And I currently still work on some projects as a project director, some international projects. And I also teach at with Charlene at college. And I teach project management and other business related subjects. I'm a mother. I'm a wife to a very tall, handsome Jamaican man. And besides that, I am also big on women empowerment, empowering women, more in the sense of allowing women to get out of the peripherals and enter the mainstream economy. So I do run an organization that actually empowers women to invest in real estate and teaches them financial management and how to actually enter the real economy and to actually circumvent all those barriers that were created to prevent women of this color from accessing those type of services. So I've been doing that for the last 5 years and it's been very successful so far. We have a few multiple homeowners here in Canada, so that has been a great success. And I am really looking forward to where Charlene and Jeannie are going with this because it's very important for us to talk about those matters that really, those things that make us who we are, those things that have developed us from grassroots, and some of the things that the good and bad things that we still carry till today that prevent us sometimes from reaching our potential. So day by day, as we explore these things and talk about them, and also the beauty of incorporating men, and also the beauty of having someone like Daryl, who is actually interested and who actually is trying to tap more into the beauty of a woman and allow us to be who we were made to be. So that's appreciated because very few men actually bother themselves because generationally it hasn't been a thing. So you're actually changing the trajectory of things by attempting to change the norm. So that's me in a nutshell. So I'll get back to the story when we're done.
The juicy part of the story. Thank you so much, Bez. I appreciate you. Tanisha.
Thank you, Charlie. It's a good thing I have, I don't compare myself to others. Otherwise, I'll probably go into a little shell right now because of the beautiful accomplishments of my fellow guests. But I just want to tell you, I have background in fitness and nutrition. I am a fitness trainer. I'm a poet. I teach ethics and English language at College of Health and Allied Development. I also have background in project management and public speaking. I definitely enjoy nature. I'm an enthusiast about planting and reaping. I love touching the soil. I love seeing what I put in come to fruition. And it is my belief that every day I can do something to improve myself. So right now I'm teaching myself French and I'm looking forward to using what I've learned to help someone else. In my community, I try to be engaged in as much voluntary work as possible. I assist with projects that are going on in my community. I undertake my own projects from time to time, putting on my own events, which are geared really to highlight and enhance the talents of persons within my community and within Jamaica, because
With a true shines bright like a morning star, let's chat with phenomenal Char. She's bringing joy.
especially through poetry and the spoken word, a lot of persons can get a chance to express who they are without being trapped by or limited by, the proper standard English or any other social limitations. Poetry allows you to express yourself freely. So if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling loved, if you're feeling any form of emotion, whatever it is that you're thinking, you can freely put it into poetry and release that which is within. So I love writing, I love public speaking, and I love the fact that I have the opportunity to share on Charlene's podcast. It is a wonderful feeling, a wonderful experience, and continue the good work, Shar.
Thank you. How did I get so lucky to have all these wonderful, beautiful people in my life? Yeah, I feel tremendously blessed and I appreciate each and every one of you. Well, Gina, they know us, so we'll get to the juicy part of where's this story before we get now because everybody wants to hear this story. So, Bez, you will continue that story. I hope you remember where you
Yeah.
left off. Do not leave any
Oh,
place.
I remember because it's a very defining part of my life, so I can't
Yeah.
forget it.
All right. So let's
So,
let's let's continue with that.
for me, the moment when in my late 30s, early 40s, I had just come out of divorce and a very like rough divorce, one of those where we married young and, kind of like grew in different directions and abuse was in there, physical abuse, emotional abuse, every nasty thing that you can hear. You will never be this, you will never be that, so I carried a lot of that on my shoulders. I carried it on my body. I carried it on my face. I carried it everywhere. And for me, a lot of that turned into comfort eating. I was comfort eating, and I put on a lot of weight. So, which automatically made me feel unattractive, very like ugly duckling type thing. And I felt ugly inside, ugly outside, everything about me. And I felt like I could not achieve anything. So, this is one of those stories where divorce was a good thing. So I divorced and actually mine was like I just left. I just left overnight with my kids and I don't think I've even ever told Charlene about this, but I woke up one day and I had run away and I was at a shelter, basically running for my life. And the shelter staff the next day asked me, "How did you sleep? How was your night?" Because normally a lot of people are sad, a lot of people are, they feel some kind of way, right? That it feels horrible to be there, leaving your. So the shelter staff asked me, "How did you sleep last night? How was your first night?" I said, "One of the best nights I've ever had." Right?
Perspective, huh?
Forget the fact that I was on one bed with my three kids.
Wow.
So
Perspective.
I was like, it's one of the best nights I've ever had. And the lady was like, "Really?"
Wow.
Like, yeah, you don't know how good I feel inside. So that was my first step of getting away from that negativity. And then my turning point now, then luckily, I met this wonderful Jamaican man who loved me in my fat self, but still, I still felt that I still felt some kind of way, right? I still felt like I was really not there.
Yeah.
And what I did, the defining moment was when I peeled off all those layers and realized that the people around me, the people that really loved me, told me I was enough, right? And my kids showed me I was enough. I started believing again that I was enough. I started taking steps to self-improve, self-learn, and then I started feeling good inside of me. And that pushed me to even want to feel better. And what did I do? I took control of my life. I took back my control. And I started off by, I knew I wasn't going to lose the weight because one, I have the fat gene in my family and I'm just, that just is not going away. But I took a bold step. I had gastric sleeve surgery, which will make me limit
Help.
my calorie intake for life, right? So no matter what, I'm not going to put on weight. So automatically, I lost a ton of weight and I started to feel good in myself because that's something that I struggled with for many years, right? And I knew I had to take control of it. I lost the weight through the sleeve and continue to lose weight. And I know I will never put on weight again because I physically can't put on
Good for
weight,
you. Good for
right?
you.
So now I'm a different person. I feel even more beautiful than I thought I was. I had the confidence in my head because I
Yeah,
put that first. So no one
that's
can tell me
awesome.
anything. But losing weight just made me feel, you know what, even.
Mhm.
So
That's
that was my
beautiful.
defining point. So right now, I am a beautiful Black woman, and no one can tell me anything.
Fine,
And
yes, fine.
my beauty is beyond definition. That's how I can describe it. I'm gonna mute myself for
Wonderful.
a minute because I need to charge my I need to
Okay.
get my charger.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what?
Okay, thank you so much. That
That
inspires me.
was
That's a lot,
phenomenal.
and
That was phenomenal.
yes,
That's beautiful.
it was
Admirable.
truly.
Phenomenal. That's funny. That's your name.
Yeah, and
Ha.
the thing is, oh, phenomenal. Yeah, the thing is, when we get to our authentic selves, it feels so
Mm,
great when we tap
mm,
into that part of ourselves beyond the physical, and then we take our power back. As she talked about taking her power back, some of what she said resonates with me and probably
mhm,
resonates with all of us in some ways. And I think for us, for me, the turning point when I started to feel beautiful was when I decided to work on my spiritual self. I
mm,
no longer was, I mean, I love dressing up. Everybody knows that. Accessory, I'm the accessory queen. I
mhm,
dress up to go everywhere. Sometimes my sons used to say, Mom, you're just going to Walmart. I'm like, yeah, but this
mm,
is how I feel good. But beyond that, beyond the physical, and this is what we're talking about, I started to work on myself. I rarely get fussy. I'm chill right now. I'm going through my chill era, my Zen era. Not a lot bother me. I feel beautiful when I'm with my students. I feel beautiful when I make people laugh, when I love people. I feel beautiful when I am giving, when I'm serving. So for me, beauty has surpassed what I look like. Of course, I like to doll up, I like to pretty up, and whatever that represents for me is is personal. Outside
mhm,
of that, it's all the inner workings. That's what I'm tapping into now. My inner self, my inner beauty, how the light that I bring to others. When I smile, when I'm in class and my students laugh because I say something funny, that is what defines my beauty now. And I think what it is that I started to pay attention to what really matters. Because I'm gonna get old. I'm probably gonna
You
maybe,
are old.
I tell her that.
girl, I'll answer you off
Listen,
camera. Off
you know what?
camera,
Talking
I'll answer
I'm
about,
off
glad
camera.
you said it, not
oh
me.
my gosh.
I,
No,
I don't even,
long
another
hair.
thing that I don't do, I don't allow age to define me and what I do. Well, those who know me know that I'm
Me
ageless,
neither.
right?
I mean,
But I am
say what?
also very practical about the reality of, getting older and what may happen. I have to make sure that I am the kind of person that I like. So loving
Mhm,
myself, taking care of myself, those are some of the ways that I feel beautiful. And that brings me into the whole idea of self-care and wellness. And my question is, what are some of the routines that you have, and I'll talk to my co-host Jean. What are some of the routines that you do to make yourself feel beautiful? And I'm talking about self-care routine. So it goes beyond your makeup and your long hair, your tall hair, and your fashionable hat. She dresses up every day, I told you guys. And she's on Facebook
and
all
if you
dressed.
notice, I changed
We
my
love
clothes
her
to
for
come
that.
back on.
Oh,
If you notice,
oh
I
my gosh,
Yeah,
she
changed my
did.
clothes to come back
you know,
on.
some
Wardrobe
dreamy.
change. Had a wardrobe change.
Yeah, she did.
She did a wardrobe change during the break.
I sure did.
No, that was not a long
You
enough
did.
break for you to do that, but go on with your bad stuff. So, Jean, tell
I
me, what
went
are some of the
upstairs.
ways you take
I
care
went
of yourself?
upstairs.
You went upstairs. What are some of the ways you
Okay.
take care of yourself?
Okay.
With a true chef, bright like a morning star. Let's chat with phenomenal Char. She's bringing joy.
Okay.
Self-care. We're talking
I
about self-care and feeling beautiful.
yes, I am someone who have conversations with myself. If something bothers me, I talk to myself, even if I have to present it to someone before. I I I I am with me before I am with you. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm in my head a lot because everything starts there. Before I can get it out here, it starts here.
Mhm.
So I stay there a lot. I don't let things that does not affect Jean affect Jean.
Mhm.
I'm not oblivious to what's going on around the world, but I don't participate because I believe that there are blind people that don't watch TV all day, and there are deaf people that don't listen to the news all day, and they function fine. I choose what I put in my spirit. I
Mhm.
don't want anything to upset what's going on up here
Mhm.
because what's going on up here centers here, everything else.
Mm.
So
Yes.
that's how I do me every day. I make sure I am focused on what makes me function in order for me to be able to help you be you.
Mm.
I'm a giver, and that makes me happy. I give. I like to do. So therefore, I have to make sure that I'm okay. So I take care of me first. Nothing gets by me that's going to affect me. I handle it. I don't hide from what's bothering me. So I keep me, I live in the moment then. That's basically that circle is all about. I live now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a beautiful thing too. It helps to alleviate stress and
Mm-hmm.
worry and futuring. I call it futuring
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we future too much, we're
Yeah.
too centered on futuring. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to leave this conversation without sharing with you a question I asked men. Now, this question was posed on Instagram a few months ago, and I jumped on it because I thought it tied in to what we're talking about today. So I asked men, random men, some of them I know, and I got some wonderful responses. I'm not in terms of time, I don't know. Jean, you have your list, right? So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
ask you to,
Mm-hmm.
to, to read some of them with me. So the question was, outside of anything sexual or beauty related, what is your favorite thing about women? And ladies on the panel, Daryl gave a response to now he's live, so maybe he can give his response live. But
Let's
I got
see.
some responses that were beautiful. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
randomly read some of
Let's
them.
do them one by one. Let's just read a few of them, Shardy. Like you read
Right.
one and I'll read one.
Okay. All right. So you want to read
Okay.
the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Responses. Their
Yes.
strength and femininity.
Yes. So one gentleman liked our strength and femininity. He didn't go into any details, but we know what that means because we know as women, we are the feminine energy. We are the strength behind many of behind our children, our men, our family. We
Okay,
are the
but if you're
matriarchs.
going to explain what they mean, we're not going to get through a lot of them.
Right. So we won't. I'm just talking about that one. So the next one
Okay.
is Black women resilience. One gentleman said Black women resilience. Next one, Jeannie.
Companionship,
That says it. And one says affectionate with street smarts and a sense of humor. That's
integrity, and personality.
integrity. Okay. So I'm going to read this one. It's a little long. He says her natural ability to make anything around her better and do it selflessly. Give her your seed and she will give you a family. Give her skins, she will clothe the children and keep her man warm at night. Give her a fish and she will make a meal. Give her yourself and she will make you a king. also she does all these tasks in an almost effortless manner. I think that's so beautiful. So
Yeah,
this
but
is
I
all
think
the
it
men.
sounds kind of caveman-like too. Sorry.
Okay, Miss Cynic. All right. You want to read you want to just randomly read some more?
Yes,
You
to
don't have to
me, I
follow.
would say, okay, to me, I would say the unpredictable side of their nature. At the beginning of the day, a woman could be mad at you, distant and full of spite. At noon, she could be enjoying a bite she could be enjoying a bite to eat together, smiling and laughing at one another. By the end of the day, she could have her thighs wrapped around your waist like a pneumonic powered vice grip. Also, their softness, traits, relatability, and humor, physical fingers and legs, intangible smiles. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So this gentleman says, before I knew
Ooh,
sex or was
wow.
able to distinguish beauty, I'm grateful to have had a mother. So this will be worded accordingly. So he goes
Mm,
on to say, their energy and vibration brings life, literally and figuratively. They bring
mm,
balance to everything. Their main, okay, I guess that's what their main source of inspiration for everything. The spirit of
mm.
nurture is one that I also admire. They make room for things and thoughts and people. Naturally, the very rhythm of my heart, their love gives me joy. They bring perspective to the world. And last but not least, taught me unconditional love.
Wow, that's nice.
Okay, so we'll read
Personally, for
the
me,
last two, Jeannie.
yes, personally for me, my favorite thing about any woman, especially one I'm attracted to, is her naturality. And that's from her hair down to how she sees life and flexes with those around her. A woman who can function at the highest societal levels, as well as right down to the grassroots. A woman who has no problem wearing heels and able to walk barefoot. A woman who can live in an upscale apartment or has no issue living in a board house. What's a board house?
A wooden house, a wooden house.
Okay,
Or
okay,
a little
okay,
shack, as you
Like
could
a
call
rooming
it.
house.
okay,
Rooming house.
okay. That's what I thought he meant, a rooming house, like a
Yeah.
hostel.
Yeah.
Okay. A woman who can walk on sand or on the lawns of King's house. One who can stay in an all-inclusive but can flex in an Airbnb. Importantly, one who is non-judgmental and is accepting of others. That's a nice one.
Mhm.
So my brethren, and I'll call his name, he was on the show, the last show. Kwame says, the resourcefulness of women is nothing short of a divine miracle, a testament of
Mm,
their unwavering strength and
mm.
boundless creativity. In their hands, impossibilities dissolve and the extraordinary becomes reality. Oh, that was Daryl. I feel like that was you, Daryl. I feel like that was you.
No,
And I
that's not.
see your name beside it. And the last one
You,
I'm going to read, the last one he says, and this is my friend, he says, the miracles I see in a woman at her essence, her being, the galaxies beyond her eyes, her light, her spirit, energizes what her smile does, what her touch does. A being that has the most gentle touch and the softest to touch is the most fragile and indestructible, most resilient, a controlled chaos with the ability to create an abyss of ice and freezing environments, as well as the gift of warmth and life. A being sent to complete me, man. The melodies of her voice is the pitch and tones of her voice. That is the greatest fulfillment. That is awesome. So these are the the voices of men and how they see us. And I feel like we don't always give men credit for how they see us. We don't always celebrate our men as women and understand that they are seeing us in these ways because we
but
listen to a lot of.
without expressing that, you can't know that they see you
Yeah,
like
but I think sometimes we give into a lot of what's out there, the narrative, people saying, the bashing of men. But this is how they see us, ladies. And I feel, as a woman, I feel very affirmed to know that this is how our, and this is just some of the voices of men. I did not even tap into as many as I could. And as we are coming to a close, I also asked a few women, but I'm gonna ask every one of the women here again to just quickly, as we wrap up, this one woman says, and she's a friend of mine, what makes her feel beautiful? Her first response, she said, my first response would be physical attractiveness. So it's my smile, the sparkle in my eyes, and you hear it often enough to see it or believe it. Then there's the inner beauty that is seen in being kind, compassionate, affectionate, friendly, and being a human being. So, with a true shine bright like a morning star, let's chat with phenomenal Char. She's bringing joy. As we close, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to just say one word, one statement on how you embrace beauty in yourself. And we'll start with the man again, because you are also beautiful, Darrell. This is not just a woman thing.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know that. One word. Wow.
It could be a word, a phrase, a line, whatever comes out of your mouth.
I think self-worth, I guess. If I have to choose something, I think that's kind of like interchangeable with just beauty, you know. Okay. Self-worth.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Tanisha.
I smile and radiate to the beauty that exists within.
Thank you.
Those are my words.
Thank you. Miss Bev.
I think to me, one word, authenticity.
Okay. All
Being
right.
your authentic self brings out everything else.
Okay. And Jeannie?
It's not just skin deep.
Could you repeat that?
It is not just skin deep. Beauty
Okay.
is not just skin deep.
Okay.
No, please.
And for me,
It's a lot more.
I want to say when I am loved and when I give love, that's when I feel most beautiful. Because for me, I am love and I exude love and I love love and I love being in love and I love loving and I
You're
love
a
being loved.
perpetual conundrum.
Okay,
And
love
that's my
doctor.
favorite word, love.
I
So I feel
love
most
that
beautiful
song.
when I am loved and when I give love. That's when I feel most beautiful. And
Yeah.
that is every day. I give love every day. And as we come to a close, I just want us to remember that beauty is defined in many ways. It is whatever feels authentic to you, whatever makes you come alive, what makes you radiate, makes you smile, make you put on something nice, make you dance and love and so beauty is to me is so Jean was saying it's so difficult to define, and she is correct because it is subjective, but it's also so broad. Because, and as we
Yeah,
delve
it's the
into the physical
difficulty.
beauty and the inner beauty, I mean, there is no one way to really define what beauty is. It is actually how you feel. And then I'll add that it's in the eyes of the beholder. And I
Yeah.
grew up hearing that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
And I behold my beauty.
And I think everybody. So some key takeaways for today is that beauty is based on your own perception of who you are, and you can
Mhm.
see it through the eyes of others, and you can see it in the simple things around you. That's one takeaway. And then I'm not going to let you all go without giving me your one takeaway, and then we will come to a close. Your one takeaway from this discussion, this conversation, because we chat, it's a conversation.
When you love you,
Yes,
it's easy to love others
absolutely.
because you love your imperfection and you realize that if I'm not perfect, then Jean can't be perfect either. So when you love your imperfections, it gives you the luxury to love others with their imperfections.
Thank
So
you.
as you say, you're a big bucket of love.
Yes.
I ain't that lovely.
Yeah. Or a big bucket of wine.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I'm fine. That's my one glass. Y'all acting like I'm a lush or something.
Wine.
Okay, Vez, your one takeaway from this conversation?
I think one thing that I have taken from this convo is that beauty has evolved over the years, and
Hmm.
so has society and culture. With that said, there are certain aspects of it that we should not allow culture or society to take over who we feel we are. I think
Correct.
this is probably another topic for another day too,
Yes.
but social media also plays a huge role in spreading fake news and falsehoods that also have started impacting even children from grassroots
Yes.
on them knowing who they are, even being able to identify what true beauty is. We are fortunate enough to have grown in the time that technology didn't exist, and we're able to define it in a different way. But now
Yeah.
children are being born not even knowing how to that natural self beauty, that
Yeah.
organic beauty. So what I take from this is don't allow those external aspects to overcloud your own senses to the point where you're unable to define yourself.
Thank
Until
you.
you define who you are
Mhm.
and define the inner beauty in you, that's the only time when you're able to see other beautiful aspects of your life coming together. It starts with you, and it can't happen if you are
Without
not
you.
authentic, if you're not seeing the
Mhm.
real world the way it is. So,
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And I know I'm rushing you off because we are coming to a close. Tanisha, what's your takeaway?
Mine is that beauty exists in everyone and in everything around us. It's just for us to see the beauty within ourselves and to see the beauty that exists around us
Okay.
and just love it, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and joining me, friends, for this episode on the essence of beauty more than
by
skin
the
deep.
way, Tanisha's got the most beautiful skin.
Ah,
Oh,
doesn't
she
she?
glows.
Oh, she is
She
glowing.
glows.
I
Yep.
know. And
It's
And
aloe
okay,
vera.
I
that's why
have
It's
to
she's
aloe
remind you,
vera.
I have to remind you that our next episode is coming up and we're going to talk about self-love, which to me is and should be our first love. So once again, I want to thank my guests, Jarrell, Tanisha, Vez, and my wonderful, lovely co-host who is feeling better. Yeah, she's feeling better. So we're back on. Thank you, my audience. We welcome your comments. We would love to hear from you. And I want to say love, blessed love to each and every one of you who turned out today. Thank you. Mwah.
Bye. See you next time.
See you soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
When real talk comes alive, she's got the groove, she's got the style. A phenomenal woman with a radiant smile. From life's deep moments to the lighter side, let's travel, Charlotte, the good times ride. Let's chat.